Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Pete's Ghias. Right here I have a pair of door felts. They're cut to length and they have the clips on them. I'm going to show you how it's done and how to get these ready for installation into the doors on your Karmann Ghia project. All right, so before we get started, there's something you should know. If you have an early Ghia up to 1959, or if your Ghia was built between 1970 and a half to 71, you have 2 felts per door, so that's 4 total for your car. Every other Ghia has only 1 felt per door, and they also get anti-rattle plugs. Now, I've noticed that the door felts have different lengths depending on what your car they were removed from. For instance, this one right here is 30 3/4. This one is 30 1/2 inches. And these are 31 1/4. So it's really hit or miss. It's just the luck of the draw. So what you should do is match your new felts to the felts you pulled out of your car. And if your door doesn't have any felts on them, then you have to take your new felts and hold it up against the opening of the door and use your best judgment as to what size they should be. Because when they come new, aftermarket, they're sized extra long and you have to trim them to size. So the felts here on the left came out of a 1964 Ghia, and I've decided to use these as a reference or as a guide to trim down my new felts. These are perfect fit for my doors. The doors on my car range from the year 64 to 66, and this length works perfectly. This is 31 1/4. However, don't blindly follow my suggestion of 31 1/4, because that might be wrong for your particular door. When you get your new aftermarket felts, they're usually cut at this oddball angle. So the first thing I'm gonna do is trim this and make it square. And one thing you should know is that obviously there's 2 sides. There's the felt side, and then this side is metal and it's coated in paint or rubber or something. So I'm gonna cut from this side, and I'm gonna trim off as little as possible so that I preserve as much as the other end as possible. So I'm just gonna start it right here. I've reached the point where I broke through the metal, and I'm just going to take my scissors and carefully cut through the felts, and now I have a nice straight edge on the back of this thing. Original felts on the left, aftermarket felts on the right. This one needs to be sized to fit, so it's pretty simple. I'm just going to hold the old against the new. I'm going to hold them end to end. And on this side, make a mark with a Sharpie. I'm going to cut on the other side of that line with my hacksaw. Trim the felt off, and we're all set. When it comes to the clips that are used to attach the felts to the door, you have a couple options. When you take your originals off, they're going to look a little bit like this. They're going to be like just a little bit rusty and crusty looking. So you can hit them with some phosphoric acid. You can put them in a parts tumbler, you can soak them in vinegar. I sent my original ones out and had them zinc plated very inexpensively. I knew somebody who would do that for me. Or you can go aftermarket. These are a very close match to the original. I think these are made in Germany. I'm not sure where I bought them, but you can find these online. And then there's the cheap ones that are available. And these are a close match, but if you look at this round stubby part that sticks out, it's not a close match for the original. If I hold them side by side, you can see that this aftermarket part on the left is just longer than the original. So I'm not really sure how well that's gonna fit. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but I'm not gonna be the guinea pig. So I'm gonna take this, and I'm gonna take these clips and I'm gonna set them aside. I'm not using those. Now, before I put the clips on the new felts, there's something to note, which is that left and right door felts are not an exact mirror image of each other. Now, if you'll notice this still has the clips on, and I've marked where the original clips were on this one. This is the right inner and this is the left inner. So as you can see, the position at which the clips attach is different. There's an offset. So you can't use your left felt to recreate your right felt. They're really unique. So there's an offset at both ends. And if you were to slide this down and use this to measure where this clip should go, it would be off and it wouldn't really fit into your door right. So if you don't have your original, what you have to do is look into your door and measure. So if you look at this original felt and look at the way the clips are attached, they hang lower, they hang off the bottom. There's a gap on the sides, and that's done intentionally because you don't want the metal part of the clip to intrude on the felt, because the felt is obviously what's protecting your door glass. So if this clip is installed over the felt, it's going to scratch your glass. So the way to do this is to do it where it's dangling a little bit. And that's what I've done. That's what I've recreated on this one, which I've already done. So you can see that the clip just goes on to the edge. Now, the new felts have one side that's chrome and one side that's black, whereas the originals have a chrome side on both sides. So the clip goes towards the bottom of the door, points to the ground. So you want to have, on your new felts, you want to have your chrome edge exposed because that'll look best inside the door. So I'm going to attach the clips onto the black part of the new door felt. To make this easy for myself, to know where the clips should attach, rather than measuring, which could introduce error on my part, simplest way to do this is to hold old and new up against each other and to just make a mark. So I know that this clip is gonna go right here. And when I'm done, this will rub right off. Well, maybe not. Yes, it will. Okay. So I make my mark here, and that's where the clip is going to go. And if I slide this down, I know my next clip goes right here, and so on and so forth. The big question here is, how do you actually attach these? There must have been a special tool they used in the factory to do this quickly and easily. I don't know what that tool was or is, or where to find it, so I have to improvise. I've used needle nose pliers. You can try to use these regular pliers. I've even seen someone on the internet, he like put this face down into a little socket and hammered it down. That probably works. I also tried using this tool, which is a special tool used to clamp down axle boots to a swing axle. And this kind of works well. So let me demonstrate on camera and show you how I get mine on. So I like to bend it down just a little bit. I don't want it to be too wide open. So I pre-bend it so it's just enough to get it on here. Obviously, this round nub lines up with the red mark I've already made. So if I just hold it right there, like that, I'm gonna take my needle nose pliers and give it a squeeze. Give it a squeeze on the right, give it a squeeze on the left. Let's turn this over and see where we are. So it's kind of loosely, it's not quite tight, it's still sliding up and down, but that's a good start because, see, it slid in the wrong spot. So I'm gonna move it back. So now this is centered over my red mark. Now I'm gonna take this big goofy tool, the tool I showed you before, and give that a squeeze. Give that a squeeze at an angle right here. Now, obviously not everybody's gonna have this tool to play around with. So let me break out my regular pliers and just gradually and carefully tighten. I don't want to distort the clip and I don't want to damage the felt. So I'm just doing this slowly and carefully, taking my time. No distractions, no spouses, no significant others, no children, no pets, no phone calls, no emails, no work interruptions, just you and your Karmann Ghia in your happy place, getting these felts on without messing it up and costing yourself a lot of money and aggravation. Okay, so let's see how this looks. It's on there tight. It's not coming off. And so we're good. But these clips are pretty forgiving because I took these off an original felt and I was able to make them wider and tighten them down again without breaking. So you could probably do that a couple of times without destroying them, but obviously the more you work them, the more likely they are to break apart. So just take your time and be careful, and eventually you'll get all of these on. All right, time-lapse video always adds production value. Here are the original felts that are shot, no good, not reusing them. And here are my aftermarket felts with the clips newly installed. You can see the offset on how they're attached for left and right. So be sure you line yours up properly, and these are ready to go and ready to install into my doors. Coming soon, part 2 of the Karmann Ghia door series covers installation of the felts and anti-rattle plugs, glass and bracket, window regulator and hardware, door latch and handle, weather strip, and alignment wedge. Become a subscriber so you don't miss out on a single video from Pete's Ghias, your #1 source for Karmann Ghia DIY and restoration on YouTube, according to me.
Italian bastard child.